Okay, all right. Good afternoon, everybody. Excited about the game this weekend. Obviously, a lot at stake with the Commander-in-Chief's trophy and an opportunity to play in Texas and try to get another win. We just didn't start out the way we hoped this season, and fortunately been able to win a couple of games in a row here, and hope to keep that going. So we know it'll be a great challenge this weekend, and we've been working really hard the last couple of weeks to devise a plan that our guys can execute, and hopefully we'll execute well on Saturday.
Hey, Jeff, Rich DeMarco, Army Radio. What words would you use to describe the Commander-in-Chief's trophy portion of your season?
Well, it's kind of its own season. Just this game and obviously the Army-Navy game in December, and to play for a trophy that means so much to the schools that are playing for it. I don't know what words would describe it other than just the passion and desire that we have to come out on top in these games. And I know that emotion exists on both sides of these rivalries, and certainly our guys feel that. But that's not what wins the game. It's going to be the team that plays the best. So we got to prepare to do that and do that in a game that probably has more emotion than other games do.
You look over the past few years, and points seem to be at a premium in Commander-in-Chief's trophy games. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. They're just such hard-fought games. Every play, guys battling it out, one-on-one battles, and players on both sides playing as hard as they possibly can. And again, there's just not many points scored. Certainly in our games, I think in the other game, the Navy versus Air Force game, there's been some more points scored in those games, and I can't tell you why. It's just the way they've played out, and certainly last year's game going overtime, and I think the last 4 years, all the games have been decided by a touchdown or less. And just watching the game from earlier this year when Navy traveled to Air Force, it's a 13-10 game. Again, just a hard-fought, close game, and I think all of the schools do a really good job defending this offense. Probably the familiarity with it gives maybe some opportunities to defend each other in ways that maybe a traditional school or other schools that don't run this offense, they probably have their way to defend it, but just not as many helping hands, offensive coaches helping the defensive coaches. So it's hard to score. It's hard to get a first down in these games. So we're going to hope that we just end up with more than they do at the end of the day.
Thanks, Coach.
Connor, kick things off on Zoom.
Hey, Charles, you can start. Yes, good afternoon, Coach. Can we talk about the Rivals again a little bit more? For example, this past weekend, at the end of the Michigan State game inside the quote-unquote tunnel, a couple of Wolverine players were attacked by several Spartan players for whatever the reasons were. When it comes to Saturday's upcoming game against Air Force, these contests are hard fought. Can you talk about what the feeling is or what it's like to be part of that pause moment, recognize the Air Force players and coaches singing their alma mater and vice versa at the end of the game?
I think it's important to leave the competition and what happened on the field, and after the game's over, there's a winner and there's a loser, and there's a lot of emotion, and certainly in that game Saturday, as you were saying, Michigan State, there's a lot of emotion, and it's hard. These are competitors, and our guys are competitors, coaches are competitors, and we put a lot into these competitions and into these games, and these rivalries mean so much, and the rivalry extends beyond the field on that particular day. Their rivalry is 365 days a year, but when the competition is over and the battle is done, then all of that's got to shut down with the final horn, and then just respect the other team for the effort they put in and the game that they played, and leave it at that. And we can go battle and battle for bragging rights for the next year, and that there's a lot of rivalries like that, and these academy rivalries are heated rivalries, and there's a lot of pride at stake, certainly, but there's other rivalries like that as well, and the emotion that teams feel and fans feel, and it's hard not to get caught up in all of it when you put so much into it, and the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and oftentimes competitors don't handle it as well as they maybe should, and I'm probably guilty of that myself sometimes.
And staying on that same note, Air Force is Air Force, Navy is Navy. What distinctions exist when you compare the two rivalries?
Similarly, just playing for the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy and the importance of winning both of those games in order to play for the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy. Certainly, this being the first one for us, it is the first step. And so without this game, without winning this game, we don't have a chance to win the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy. So that makes this an important game. And this is certainly the most important game we've played all year, and the biggest game we've played all year. But there's differences in the rivalries historically, and the Army-Navy game, and what that has meant to the two institutions over a long history. They're different, but both important and emotional. And I assure you that we desperately want to win this game, and our guys fight like crazy to win this game every time we have a chance to play it.
My follow-up and final question: injuries has been one of the common themes for the 2022 season for the Black Knights. Obviously, too many to go one by one, but what has been the progression of Greg Carter and Gerald Robinson relative to their injuries in Saturday's game against Air Force?
Well, they, like several of our guys who've been knocked out of games and either hurt in practice or hurt in competition, we're getting healthier, and those guys are getting healthier, and we'll determine when we get to the weekend, as we get closer, just if they're going to be able to contribute, and others as well. So I feel better about where our health is now, comparatively speaking to a month ago. Certainly in certainly in September, we had a lot of injuries coming out of preseason camp and coming out of game one, and they've lingered. So we've really just had to modify what we've been doing and how we've been practicing to try to get the healthiest team possible to the game on Saturday. So we're getting closer, and I'm eager to see the guys today and how they look today and tomorrow. That'll probably be a great determination.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Great, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Just as we talked a little bit last week, Air Force stands out on defense with their rush defense, just 126 yards gained. How do you approach that? And I was just going to ask about your quarterback situation. You said you've got 4 quarterbacks who could play. Is that an asset, having those options?
It's certainly an asset having 4 quarterbacks that we feel comfortable with, and we frankly would feel comfortable with any one of those guys in the ball game. So I'm glad we got them, and it's great to see Jamel and how he's been playing the last couple of weeks. But we've got some other guys with experience as well. Air Force does a really good job stopping the run. They do a great job defensively, period. I mean, they allow very few points, very few yards, particularly on the run. And so it makes it a real challenge us being a running football team, trying to run against a defense that's really good at stopping the run, that does pose a great challenge for us. And we struggled to run the ball against them last year, and just had a little bit over 100 yards rushing against them a year ago. Fortunately, we hit some big plays and we were able to win the game, but they do a good job defensively.
And just looking at their offense, Brad Roberts is having a record-breaking year at fullback, over 2,700 yards, 900 some odd yards this year, 13 touchdowns. Zeke Daniels, the quarterback, we've seen him for a couple of years. Very strong quarterback. What are some of the challenges the Air Force offense?
Like their defense does such a good job stopping the run. They're the best team in the country running the football. Brad Roberts is a huge part of that. He's an outstanding runner, and as you said, has set a school record for them for most yards for a fullback. And Daniels does a really nice job leading that team. He's a good thrower, and you saw that in games throughout his career. That bowl game last year against Louisville, he threw for a bunch of yards, and so he does a good job running the football as well. And they utilize him as a runner and a thrower. They've just got a really good offense, and they do a nice job of doing the things that they do best, and they don't get real tricky. They don't do a whole lot of stuff from a formational standpoint or scheme standpoint. They don't try to be a master of everything, jack of all trades. They try to be a master of the things that they do really well. So they're leading the nation in rushing because they do a great job executing, and their guys run their offense really, really effectively and really efficiently.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go to McMillan.
Jeff, I think you kind of answered it in this answer, but is Air Force throwing any wrinkles out there this year that you have to be prepared for offensively?
I don't know that they're different from what they were a year ago or the year before that. As I said, they do a really good job of really mastering the things that they do best. They call the plays that they can execute and execute well, and then they execute them very well. They do align in several different formations, and they displace their slots and line up with an empty backfield sometimes, but they're just certain things that they do that they feel very confident in. And I think the best offenses are offenses like that they've got an identity, they know what they're good at, they work hard at it, they don't panic and try to come up with 14 new plays because something isn't working just exactly like it's supposed to. They believe in what they're doing, and they execute it very well. So they're a very efficient and very impressive offensive unit.
Jeff, I asked you this 2 weeks ago about quarterbacks and riding the hot hand. Is that still in play this week, or does the extra week off change momentum, and would Cade's throwing ability maybe favor him a little bit in a game like this?
We'll play the guy we think gives us the best chance on play one, and on play two, if it's a different guy, it'll be a different guy. And that's pretty much the philosophy we've had, and I don't know that I need to explain it anymore. I mean, we played multiple quarterbacks, we've started different quarterbacks, and I think all those guys bring something to our offense that is valuable. So I think all those guys have played really well at times, and obviously Jamel's played the last couple of weeks, but Tyre's got a ton of experience, and as does Cade. He's played a lot of football for us too.
I can follow this game being a neutral site field. You played at Air Force, you played games here at West Point. Tell me about the uniqueness of playing this game in Arlington, and would you like to continue doing something like this against Air Force?
I'd like to continue playing at Mikey Stadium every year if they'd agree to it. I'd like to play every single game, all 12 games here. And if we get to a bowl game, they can play it here too, as far as I'm concerned. I love playing at home, dressing in our own locker room, the familiarity of it, our home crowd. There's a reason they call it home field advantage. And so I like to play at home. But this is a neat opportunity. It's one of the great things about playing in this program and at West Point is our guys get to play in some pretty special venues, and this is one of them. We're excited to go down there. The Texas Rangers have been great hosts. They were last year, and I know they'll be very accommodating, very welcoming hosts again this year. It is unique to play in a baseball stadium, just the way the stands are configured, and we were on the side over there in the outfield last year with nothing behind us, and it's just different, just a different feel. Once the game gets going, I don't know that you notice it that much, but it's just a unique experience, and I think our guys enjoy it. It'll be something memorable for them. The way they build stadiums these days, they tear down stadiums. Have been up for 10 years and build new ones. So I don't know if this one will be there for a long time, but it'd be neat for our guys as they grow and have families to be able to tell their kids and their grandkids that they played in that stadium. It's a pretty neat experience.
That's it for Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.